and I made granny squares in alternate colors of brown and turquoise. And I made 7 squares where I started was brown, and the next row is turquoise, and the next row is brown, and the next row is turquoise. And then I made 7 more squares where I started was turquoise and reversed the order of color. And then I put them together, and this is a length of 14 squares. Of course, you can make this as long as you like. And I would also recommend that if, for instance, you make an afghan, that you make rows, start by putting your rows together like this, individual squares, and then take your next row and put your next row together as I'm going to show you. So it looks like this, but it's much easier to match your corners, and they need to be lined up to look really neat. It's much easier to do that if you work them in rows first. And I would like to show you how to do that. And I'm going to do it with the 2 squares that we just created. And you can see that the green one is slightly larger, which is what happens very often when we use up yarn ends. So there's a little trick to it. I'm going to use one of my nice darning needles, which I carry around in this nice little container. And let's use that yarn end right here. And the trick to doing this, so it looks very nice and neat, is to put them face to face, as if you were sewing and cutting out a pattern. Always put it face to face. Now the green, as I said, is slightly larger, so what I want to do is maybe stretch my multicolored square just a hair, which is okay. And the trick to getting this to look just fantabulously perfect is to pick up just the back thread of each square. So I pick up the back of the beige and then the corresponding back of the green, and the back of the beige and the corresponding back of the green. And after you start, make sure that you're connecting double crochet number 1 to double crochet number 1, and number 2 to number 2, and then the chain 1 to the chain 1. And one of the advantages of keeping a longer thread on this also is that the color will blend in very nicely when you put it together. It just looks more fluid when the color matches. And always do put a stitch exactly into the corner, because as I said, when you put your rows together later on, you want to have an even row so that you can put them together without creating a pucker right here in the seam. So you can see how I used the end of the beige thread to put these two together, and it looks quite nice. And now let me show you how I put this pink end away. I always run my darning needle through the existing material first. Now I make sure that the darning needle doesn't show. There's no metal anywhere to see. Then I know wherever I'm guiding this end that it's neat. And only when the needle is in place do I put the end through here, and then I just catch it right here, give it plenty of room to travel. Very often it gets tight because people pull it too tight here. So leave room to travel and then pull it in through this. And you can also, again, adjust the tension just a little bit by, you can see what happens here. Use your 2 thumbs and work it in so it comes out perfectly flat. So this is your solid color granny square and your multicolored granny square, and how to put them together. I would like to show you one last thing. You have learned how to do this, and you could just go on and on and on and on by creating your corners. You could continue to do the same pattern, to do 3 and chain 2 and 3 double crochets into each corner, because the corners get further apart, but your straightaways in between, you just chain 1 and put 3 in the one below, and chain 1 and keep going, and you can create a lovely square Afghan that way, as I did here. This is a little baby Afghan, and you can see that I changed colors every 3 rows. I started with white, and then 3 rows of variegated pink and purple, 3 rows of white and 3 rows of variegated. And then, as you can see here, and this is the right side, it just keeps growing and growing and growing, and you have just your 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, chain 1, forever and ever and ever and ever until you get to the corner. And every corner is the same way I just showed you. 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet. And then what I did on the end, I put shells, which we just learned how to do, and then I put the little picot on the top of each shell. So you can do this as large or as small as you like. And there's one little trick I would like to mention. If you do this in a rather large size, maybe every 3rd or 4th row, instead of just keeping it with the front towards us, every 3rd or 4th row, turn it and work in the other direction. It'll keep it from stretching. It'll keep it in a better square position. However, I would encourage you to have fun with basic granny squares. Try it with colors, try it with solid color before you make a large one, and you'll be very pleased with the result, because it's very simple to do, and it's fun to create this. And also to get started in the round, maybe make some coasters tonight. This is a lot of fun, and right away you have instant gratification of a nice little project. 6 of these makes a beautiful gift. I hope you enjoyed working with me in rounds and in squares, and I encourage you to make some of these beautiful little coasters, and then start some granny squares, solid colors, and the multicolored ones, and maybe try your hand at making one of these beautiful big square lap robes or baby Afghans. It's a lot of fun.